Sports news time, and here is Charles Aruka.
Welcome to Sports News. The Ogun State government will partner the private sector to build a racetrack to help in the development of motorsports in Nigeria. The chairman of EMC Cube, a brand marketing agency, Babajala Epega, said the racetrack will be a quantum leap for the state government in urban renewal, business development, recreation, job creation and social engineering.
A racing academy, an engineering school, an industrial park. These are all job creation facilities. We're looking at a Medicare or hospital or some kind of trauma clinic, which again, we want to peg on a teaching school. So what we want to do is have Ogun State as a center of excellence for job creation, but specifically for training. Because once you've trained someone, they can go anywhere. And we want Ogun State to be the state of Motor City. So people say, you went to the engineering school in Ogun State. That place near Bopakwe or Abekuta, that's the place. Oh, you did well, 5-10 years. It's a legacy thing. So it's not just job creation from the inception. We're looking at a job creation throughout.
Now to football, as the D-Day for the much-anticipated 2019 AFCON qualifier between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Bafana Bafana of South Africa draws near. Technical advisor Gernot Rohr insists the team must start on a strong footing if they must advance from Group E. At the team's first media parley since their arrival in Uyo on Monday, Coach Rohr says injury to some key players will not affect his side.
One of the qualifiers for the next AFCON in Cameroon. So it's important to win the first game, of course, because when you're on the right way immediately, it could be better to be qualified. So we try to be without some of our important players. A real team. We miss our captain, is injured. We miss our goalkeeper, who is injured also. We missed a very important central defender, Leon Balogun, who is not here. So we have to reconstruct a team who is able to beat South Africa. We didn't lose since 2 years. The last defeat of South Africa.
And in club soccer, Craig Shakespeare will manage the Super Eagles pair of Ahmed Musa and Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester City for the next 3 years after he was confirmed as the club's permanent boss. The 53-year-old was given the job on a temporary basis in February following the sack of Claudio Ranieri. Shakespeare, who has only worked as caretaker manager, was Ranieri's assistant after joining the club under former Foxes boss Nigel Pearson. Shakespeare won 8 of his 16 games in charge last season, leading the club to the UEFA Champions League quarter-finals. And in South America, Chile coach Juan Antonio Pizzi has named Alexis Sanchez in his team for the 2017 FIFA Confederations Cup. While Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger would have preferred to see Sanchez rested, Pizzi had no hesitation including the 28-year-old in his squad. Arturo Vidal is also in the party to Russia, along with goalkeeper and captain Claudio Bravo, despite a mixed first season with Manchester City. Chile are in Group B alongside Germany, Cameroon and Australia. They begin their campaign against Cameroon in Moscow on June the 18th. That's the final whistle on sports news, and Nadia will be back shortly with the rest of the news at 10.
Former U.S. FBI Director James Comey today appeared before the House Intelligence Committee, telling them the Trump administration lied against him and the FBI. He also suggested he was fired to change the way the Russia investigation was being conducted. Mr. Comey remained largely composed throughout the almost 3 hours of testimony, but was impassioned when delivering his opening remarks.
James Comey, in his opening remarks, accused the Trump administration of defaming him and telling lies about the agency, but declined to offer his opinion on whether President Donald Trump sought to obstruct justice by asking him to drop an investigation into the former National Security Advisor.
General Flynn at that point in time was in legal jeopardy. there was an open FBI criminal investigation of his statements in connection with the Russian contacts and the contacts themselves. And so that was my assessment at the time.
He said he was stunned by the president's request that he drop investigation into Michael Flynn because he was, quote, a good guy. Comey says he remembers responding, "I agree he's a good guy," as a way of saying he was not agreeing with the president's request.
And he decided to fire me because of that.
Comey then accused the president of firing him to try to undermine the Bureau's investigation into possible collusion between his 2016 presidential campaign team and Russia.
I know I was fired. Again, I take the president's words. I know I was fired because of something about the way I was conducting the Russia investigation.
President Trump's private attorney, Mark Kasovitz, debunked Comey's claim he was asked to stop investigating Michael Flynn.
The president never, in form or substance, directed or suggested that Mr. Comey stop investigating anyone.
Kasovitz also denied Trump ever told Comey he needed and expected his loyalty, and then accused Comey of unauthorized disclosure of privileged information.
Close quote.
Britons today voted in more than 40,000 polling stations across the country. The snap election was called by Prime Minister Theresa May in a bid to strengthen her hand in Brexit negotiations and to win more time to deal with the impact of the deal, as well as strengthen her grip on the Conservative Party. Votes had already been cast through postal voting, which accounted for more than 16% of the total at the 2015 elections. The polls have now closed, but officials had said that anyone in a polling station queue at the time should be able to cast his or her vote. A handful of seats are expected to be declared by midnight, with the final results expected on Friday afternoon. And the main news again. The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, today visited Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, to flag off the distribution of grains for internally displaced persons in the northeast. The acting president's visit was in spite of the security threats posed by Boko Haram's attack on a Maiduguri suburb yesterday. Also today, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, ordered the arrest of those behind the eviction order issued to Igbos living in the north. And former FBI Director James Comey today appeared before the U.S. Congress Intelligence Committee. He accused the Trump administration of lying against him. And that indeed is our news at 10 tonight. Thanks for being with us. My name is Ladi Akiri Deluale. Good night.